Yes, welcome back, welcome back. It's the radio on the radio, no radio, and today we're talking about communications part 3, presenting. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, which is listening and public speaking, I'll post them for you, provided in the link on the bottom after the video. So, let's get it off. To present means to show or offer for others to scrutinize or consider. It's also the giving of something to someone. So we're just going to go through the skills listed that I have for you today. So you will see a little bit overlap for public speaking, but for the most part, it's definitely different things for you to learn. All right, so jumping right in it. When you're presenting or giving a presentation, you want to arrive early. Now, arriving early gives you the chance to fill out the environment and pretty much make the environment set up the way that you want to so that you feel comfortable in it. You know, adjust the sound. It's just some things you could worry about. Addressed where you might be standing next to like a window. Maybe you don't want to be cold. Maybe you don't want to be standing next to something that's making noise, like a ventilation system. That just arriving early helps you get the lay of the land so that you don't have to adapt while you're there. You can adapt to whatever is there and work with what you're doing. Now, using your nerve system, when you're nervous, you tend to mess up, and a lot of people focus on being nervous. Before I talked about in my last video about how using your nerves to give you energy. So basically, you're turning fear into fuel. I like that, like fear into fuel. You're turning fear into fuel. You want to embrace the fear and use your nervousness to actually give you energy to help you do what you're doing. So if one of the things you want to stay away from, though, I will say is this, that if you're already nervous prior to doing something, you shouldn't drink lots of coffee or any stimulants that'll keep you jittery, because then you'll overthink or you'll mess up. It's just different things that you can do that'll slow you down in your presentation, that'll have you messing up and embrace, and enhance the fear that you already have. The next thing I want to say is that you want to pay attention to other speakers. So if you're not the only person speaking that day and you don't go first, pay attention to how other speakers are speaking if you're feeling nervous, to help give you some type of guidance as to how you actually want to speak, or what do you think is appropriate for whatever type of information you may be relaying or giving out to others. It might be a product or whatever, but just pay attention to how others speak if you're feeling that nervous. It's also good. I feel like the best, and this is my opinion, I feel like the best speakers also look at other speakers, and they grab pieces here and there of what they need to work on and what their strengths and weaknesses are. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is using the audience. You want to actively engage the audience. You got to remember, when you're using the audience, you don't necessarily have to pick on somebody, or you could say something like, "Who here has green teeth?" They're probably not going to raise their hand, but at the same time, it's like you want to say something that they can say yes or laugh at. You want to actively engage the audience and keep them alive, and keep yourself alive in the presentation. By doing this, you can smile, laugh, just having a positive attitude overall. You want to remain relatable. People who are receiving the presentation, they want to be able to relate to what you're talking about. They want to be able to feel you. Most audiences are sympathetic to an extent, right? They may not empathize with you being up there and then feeling the fear unless they do it themselves, but they can sympathize with the fact that whatever you're presenting may be important. It may be life-changing, whatever it is. Then you want to be entertaining, like I said. So while you're smiling and laughing, you're actively engaging. It doesn't hurt to tell a joke every once in a while. Humor is the ultimate icebreaker, in my opinion. So you might want to find some things you want to do to key in some jokes, or you might have some freestyle jokes, whatever works for you, whatever you feel comfortable with. I personally like freestyle jokes because I'm not really good with the handwritten material itself. Even what I'm doing right now is a presentation, and I don't try to tell jokes, but people think I'm funny. I don't know what's going on with that. So the next thing you want to do is you want to work on the power of the pause. Remember how I was talking about the Lion King in my last video? I think it was the Lion King. I think whatever it was like we're talking with power. So it's like, I will walk through the jungle. You know what I'm saying? The pauses in between to help to increase the actual meaning of what you're doing. So it brings a sense of intensity to the words I'm saying itself. So I could say, I have this McDonald's, this action figure right here, right? not even action figure. It's a cake ornament that my mom got me when I was like 7. Who knows, right? But I had it forever. So when I say this, I said Tasmanian devil and how he attacked Bugs Bunny. You know, like that is just how you say it. And then it's the voices you use, and then it's me smiling. You got to do that in your presentation. Now, when you're doing it, just like any other presentation, I'm gonna be real with you guys. Don't cover too much information, because too much information, too much details, in a I say detailed presentation environment. Usually presentations are just to give the gist of it, and they provide extra information with it. But it's just to give you overall. So think of it as more like as a summary of what this is, what it does, or what you're talking about. All right, just summarize for the most part of what's going on. And once it's like a fishing rod. You throw it out there, you give them a hook, and they nibble at it because the food tastes good. And then after they grab the food in, then that's when they want more information. So just throw them the hook and give them a little bit of the bait. When it comes to questions and answers, if you have questions and answers, you have to admit that you don't know everything about what you're talking about. And if you do, you still should admit that you don't know everything about what you're talking about, because that it can hem you in a way that you'll say something out of pride, or you'll say something out of, I don't want to not have the answer. That'll be wrong right there and then. You should say, you should be honest with the person. I don't have the answer for you right now. Let me double check. Even if you think you have the answer, but you're not 100% sure, you should say, let me get back to you, or we haven't done research in that area. Whatever your excuse is going to be for whatever topic or whatever you're going to be doing, you should have something implemented that you say prior to, so you're not sitting up there fumbling like sweating, because that will also increase the level of fear you have, and it'll help towards your demise. Then, like, I want you while you're up there or you're doing your thing, presentations that are like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, they don't require water. But if you're going to be up there for a while, anything like 20 plus minutes, I recommend you bring water up there to drink it, so you won't get the dry mouth. Once you start getting dry mouth, it just irritates you and aggravates you, and it's hard to continue talking, and sometimes your voice might crack. It's very distracting for the audience, and the audience, if people who've done it before, they've seen people before, like, they're probably wondering like, what's wrong with you, and to the point where some of them understand that your mouth is drying out. And it's okay just to say, excuse me, let me get some water, or drink some water while you're, switching the slide or whatever you're doing, however you're presenting. Just take that time to throw that water in there real quick. Even make a joke out of it. I've heard people make jokes out of it. So got me out here choking. Let me get some water real quick. Sorry, guys. That's what you hear in the audience. Excuse me. Filler words, please. You heard how I just said Now, this wasn't even on my chart. I have the chart. All right, so this wasn't even on my chart, but filler words is something that people stay away from, please. Words like okay, you know what I mean? Then, this. Like, if you don't know it, just take your time and think. Even if you're talking and you're presenting, people tend not to use filler words and stuff they already know what they're talking about. So it's like, if I'm already fluent in what I'm doing, you won't hear a filler word, because I'm not giving myself a time to think. I'm just talking straight through, right? Got it? Good. Here we go. Now, the last thing is practice. Practice is key. I cannot stress practice. I don't care who you are, how long you've been doing what. Practice is important. If somebody you like, they tell you they feel like they're up there, they're natural. I'm not saying there's not certain circumstances where people have the ability to freestyle better than others, because freestyling itself is a skill. But practice makes perfect. Practice will cover everything I said and then some. And then you also got to remember before I end this video, is that nothing is perfect and you will mess up. And that's part of the growing process of the presentation itself. That being said, you have to plan. You have to have a plan, and part of that plan has to be that everything's gonna go messed up at any given point in time, and you just have to be adaptable. Okay, so remain flexible while you're doing this. Don't get uptight. Don't be upset. Don't let it increase your fear. Don't let it increase your anger. Don't let it throw you off track. Get what you gotta say out there. That is Stu Radio on the radio. No radio And this is my conclusion to my 3-part series of communications. Like I said, I will provide the links for you in the bottom. Did I practice this? Yes, and a little bit of no. Mostly no, but yes. All right, so I got to tell you these guys. Lastly, I want to say that I'm going to go through all of them, give you a last review. So, presenting. Arrive early, adjust your environment, use your nervous system for a positive, embrace the fear, pay attention to other speakers, use the audience and actively engage, right? Smile, laugh, positive attitude, relatability, entertainment, work on the power of the pause, don't cover too much and admit when you don't have the answers, drink water so you don't get that dry mouth, and practice. Practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes proficient. All right? Thank you very much. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. All the links will be provided. Thank you, and have a good day.